fish, yellow rice, and a whole lot of onions. That's what today's authentic Lebanese recipe is all about. First, I'm Yumna, aka Feel Good Foodie. I share wholesome, nutritious recipes that make your body feel good. Today's recipe is called Sayadieh. It's a Middle Eastern recipe that's made with lots of warm spices, caramelized onions, perfectly pan-fried pieces of fish all over a nice yellow turmeric rice. It's a pretty unique recipe, but surprisingly, when you look at the ingredients, they're pretty straightforward and easily accessible. So if you're looking for a new rice dish to try, or you want to try to recreate your grandma's fish and rice, I definitely think you should try this recipe out. So here's what you'll need. 2 cups of long grain rice like basmati or jasmine, 3 to 4 onions, some silvered almonds just for topping it, some codfish or any other white fish works really well, a bunch of different spices. You can mix and match how you see fit. I've got here some turmeric, cinnamon, coriander, ginger, salt and pepper, and olive oil to fry everything up. So let's get started. We'll start by cutting the onion. There is a lot of onion chopping here, so if you wanted to make it easier, you could chop all this up in the food processor, but I do like doing it by hand just because all the onions become nice and uniform when you do it that way. Toss out those bits, and then I'm gonna wipe off my tears. All right, so we're gonna transfer all the onions into a pot, and this is my designated turmeric spoon because it's already turned yellow, so we're gonna use this to cook the recipe. What we wanna do is we wanna caramelize the onions, which takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And all of these 4 onions right here are gonna dwindle down in size and probably be about half the size. So this is what we're looking for right here. You see the onions are starting to get a nice golden color to them. And you could continue to cook them so they're a little bit more brown, but this is just perfect the way it is. Now we'll add 2 cups of rinsed long grain rice and all the spices. 1½ teaspoons of salt, ½ a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, ½ a teaspoon of coriander, ½ a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. I know it's a lot of spices, but all those spices mixed together create the best taste for this Sayadieh dish. All right, now we just mix everything together, and you want to make sure to coat the rice with all the spices until it gets a little bit of a yellow color to it. We're also basically toasting the rice at this point, so it's going to really bring out that nutty flavor in the rice. This is the color we're looking for. So we'll add 4 cups of water, bring it to a boil, then simmer, cover, and cook for 18 to 20 minutes. All right, while the rice is cooking, it's a good time to go ahead and cook the fish. Sometimes people will cook the fish with the rice as well, but what I like to do is I like to pan fry it by itself just to get a nice golden crust on it and then mix everything together. You can also deep fry the fish, which is probably more traditional, but this is healthier and still tastes so good. And on the fish, I just seasoned it with some salt and pepper and a touch of olive oil. When you're cooking fish, it's important to not overcrowd the pan. So my pieces of fish here are huge, so I only put 3 pieces of fish on the pan. Also, make sure not to touch it, not to turn it until 5 minutes is up because it's really going to form a nice sear and it's just going to self-release at that point. Then you can flip it and cook it for an extra 3 minutes. And people always ask me, how do I know when the fish is done? When it comes to white fish like cod, it will become flaky. Same thing with salmon actually. It becomes super flaky and you'll just see how it's coming apart from the center of the meat. You can always test it with a fork or a spatula. So the fish is cooked and we just need to add it on top of the rice and the meal is pretty much ready. All right, the rice was cooked. I let it set for 10 minutes and I also fluffed it. And look how gorgeous this looks. It's a beautiful yellow color and it's exactly what we're looking for. So now I'm gonna use my turmeric colored spoon and go ahead and serve this. So when I make this for the kids, I'll take all the fish and just break it up right into the rice. And if I'm serving this for guests, I like to put everything on a nice big plate with the fish on top of the rice. And now we like to add some pine nuts or some almonds on top just to give it a nice toasted crunch on top. And add a little bit of parsley just to freshen it up and just really liven up the dish. And there you have it, authentic Middle Eastern Sayadieh. It's such a great way to serve fish. Sometimes when you're making fish at home, you run out of ideas of how to eat it and what to serve it with. So serving it with rice just makes it a nice complete meal, and you can have this with a salad on the side or just by itself. It's one of my kids' favorite meals. They're always like, please make us the yellow rice with the fish on top. I hope you guys try the recipe and I hope you like it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the video description below for a full written recipe, and be sure to like, follow, subscribe for more healthy-ish recipes with feel-good ingredients. See you guys next time.